waiting for? Christmas?
We're back to this map. Look at this shit up here. This is the only shadows in the map, but it looks really good. This little grating. It's also in the hallways. He uses it a lot. It's clear that he's really proud of it, and he has reason to be. Look, this looks good. Looks like something from Half-Life, or even Doom 3, with the shadows. Hanging light fixtures. Keep in mind what engine we're talking about here. Only criticism, no shadows. Also, these doors don't open the right way. These are left to right sliding doors. That's a naked woman. I gotta put that on the screen. Look at that view. You don't see many lunar maps that actually have an exterior environment. Most of them just have the skybox. That should not raise, that should slide left to right, or right to left rather. Looks good. Cute little 3D bench. Some more sprite work. Again, you could do most anything in Quake that you wanted in Duke 3D, or I guess more accurately, Shadow Warrior Blood. Stasis Bone Totem is not done. It's not done. I'm taking a break from it to showcase this map. I'll get right back to it. I'm just really impressed by this guy's maps. Just level geometry. This one, the only thing that's lacking is lighting. I don't want to criticize him. Because again, it's a really impressive level geometry, but it's got no shadows, almost no shadows. Let's look at Lem 3. These are another set of really impressive maps. Also kind of dubious lighting. A lot of good sprite work. Try that again.
Hail to the king, baby. I'm gonna kick your ass, bitch.
Oh, this is a relatively small level, it seems. Still, level geometry looks lovely. Let's try to find the hallway I was looking at. This hallway in the screenshots looked amazing. I'd never seen this texture used this way. It's amazing how versatile the textures in this game are. You can make them look almost like anything. Does this look anything like the base game to you? It's just scrolling the textures and deforming them and giving them different palettes in different ways to create a variety of different visual effects. I just thought this was really appealing visually. It's like the corridors in Alien 1.
Let's rock.
Then there's the sequel, which looks kind of fucky already. He has a certain, every mapper has a certain style of level geometry and texture utilization. Alright, that didn't work. Good looking skybox. Skyboxes are much improved. The original one had very, very pixelated skyboxes. To where I almost didn't want the sky visible in any of the levels. Because it would look terrible. I'll get back to Stasis Bone Totem. Impressive level though, huh? I mean, the first one most of all. Then the moon base a little bit less so. It's a balancing act. It's tricky. If you want good lighting and good detail, it's really hard to have both. In that engine, I'm glad that Ion Fury happened. Ion Fury was like a second chance for the build engine to shine, although they really wasted an opportunity by not making all the enemies voxel based. I hope there's a voxel mod for that game. Almost everything is voxel based in that game. Items are voxel based, weapon pickups are voxel based, keys are voxel based. A lot of voxel based props. It's just they didn't go the whole hog and they didn't go the full mile to make everything voxels. I really hope that's like a DLC at some point where you can optionally switch it on in the menu. Because it really shows... I know nobody cares nowadays, but there was sort of like a console war between Duke Nukem 3D engine mappers and Quake mappers back in the day, where Quake was just like, we're superior, we're full 3D. And build mappers were like, yeah, but there's fuck all interactivity. You can't really make anything in Quake Engine except for more Quake levels that are exactly like the ones that came with the game. Whereas even with just the stock assets, you can make infinite different experiences with Duke 3D, Shadow Warrior, Build, Redneck Rampage. Then again, a lot of Quake mappers went on to transfer their skills into the game industry because, again, they were working with a polygon engine. So maybe they had the last laugh. Although, had I gotten in at the ground floor, I could have worked on Ion Fury, being that I have a good grasp of that engine. I regret that I didn't do that. I also really like pre-rendered engines, so we're off to a good start again. Where's my chat window? Where's my fucking chat window? There we go. I miss mapping. Why did I stop? I think I was ashamed of it, that I put so much time and effort into an obsolete skill. I've already seen this. Everyone's telling me how great this game is. Strider GIF also played this game recently, Davey Sore. Are they all like this? Are they all pre-rendered with 3D models on them? Yeah, an interesting hybrid concept I saw in the 3DO game was to have pre-rendered backgrounds and then to have overlaid video cutouts of what your character does, of character actions on top of that background, so that they don't have to have either polygon characters or have the whole thing be a video. I guess it saves storage space, so it's just layered video. So it's the same background, but like there's a bunch of different things you can do in that setting that has just the video of your character doing that, which doesn't work that great. I was more impressed by that one PCFX game where it's like a Resident Evil-like, but it uses sprites. Not even scaled sprites. It's just the main character has a lot of sprites for different angles and distances. You know what to do here, anyone? Please feel free to spoil it for me. I did everything just right, did I not? Let's look at the pictures on my phone. I took photos of the puzzle. That's 49, that's correct. I didn't feel bad to begin with until you mentioned it. Local vents have been unlocked, have they? You say that. I somehow don't believe you, though. Like, this one is not unlocked. You remember how to do this? I think I already did this puzzle, though. Above it. How do I get... Oh, here we go. Here we go. Thank you. Thank you, Davy Sore. You won the day.
This is
so
not
pretty.
a good place to play. It smells wrong. Like dead things.
Ever wonder what the point was of putting olfactory sensors on a toy?
Maybe because it makes him more real.
You are either real or you're not.
You're right, Mose. I'm sorry.
I don't think this guy's gonna recover. I don't want to be superficial. It's not all about graphics, but the presentation of pre-rendered
I
games.
am Moses.
Volunteer pods. What were they doing here?
You know the answer to that. If they were here by their own accord, they were paying off debts to Kane. If.
Speaking of volunteers paying off debts, good news? Question mark. A plasma donation center opened up less than, I don't say how close, but very close to my house, and it pays twice what the other one did. And that's after the new onboard new user bonus of $700 over the first 10 donations. So for a person in my desperate situation, that's a welcome. I don't mind needles at all. It's actually kind of metal, and stuff like that it does not bother me. It's not a sex thing. It's not a sex thing, but it is something that I don't care about at all. Being farmed for my precious bodily fluids. I should take a picture of this.
These are in pain.
Did I just kill him? I believe I just killed this man. Should I just kill everybody?
Oh, this is awful.
May their minds find the Nexus.
Are we supposed to do this?
These suffer. It is painful.
We didn't kill anyone.
Charlie,
Can't prove shit.
Hope's favorer.
Favorite what?
A shark. Hope's favorite animal.
It is lovely.
You are in Aquarium H1.
I guess so, but they were still alive. Who knows what might happen? You say they're not going to get out. You don't know that. They're on Earth, not some space station. Someone could eventually come looking for them. But I feel like that's what it has to do for the progression of the story. Oh, shit. Did he just move? 7154. I should take a picture of that. Hang on. I'm being paranoid. In puzzle games, I always take pictures of everything. Yeah, he's moving around. He's still... I don't know about live, but there's one of his implants is still going. It doesn't look like there's anything else I can do here. Four through two. Is that significant? I can extract his lungs. Oh, did you read that, Strategif? Are you one of the people who read Necrobot? I figured you'd appreciate it. It's not really... It's cyberpunk adjacent. It's more just like cyberpunk body horror. Since it's not set in the future, it's kind of set in a time capsule. Can you picture Necrobot as a game of this genre with this presentation? Because I totally fucking can. That's what I had in mind as I was writing it. It's sort of a Resident Evil style or point and click pre-rendered isometric game, just like this. What happened? Why is he shimmering? Oh, I see. I've got to put the fake lungs in him, don't I? And then it gets fixed. I gotcha. I can figure things out. That's what you're trying to tell me. I drag this?
I do not like this, Charlie Mac. Everything is slimy. This is a dangerous place.
I know, sweetheart. But I need those lungs. If you can repair them, can you try?
I am brave and strong.
I do often write stories specifically with a view to future adaptations. Like the one I wrote where 7 strangers wake up in a sealed off Costco where all the exits are cemented over. And it's like Lord of the Flies, so they recapitulate civilization within the microcosm of a bulk food store. Hypodermic needle. Can't I just... Oh, doctors. Can I find any old dead body and just harvest blood? I think I need blood. Maybe he was bled out already. Necrobot is inspired by H.P. Lovecraft's Cool Air, which is a story about a scientist discovering a way to preserve his life after death as an undead scoliastic husk, but not any way to prevent decomposition. So he lives in a frigid, air-conditioned house all the time to slow down decomposition. And nobody knows that he's dead until the power goes out and they find him completely decomposed in the bathtub. I was like, that's cool and all, Howard, that you're scared of AC. Actually, no, I'm not joking. That's an art form, is taking the everyday and finding what's scary about it. But I was like, I can expand that into a much larger scope of story, where a character similar to Elon Musk is based on Elon Musk and Zoltan Istvan, whose big promise to the world is not Mars colonization, but technological immortality. He basically forms a cult of personality and pours his fortune into the establishment of a domed compound at the South Pole. It's like a snowflake. It's 7 domes in a cluster, so 6 around the perimeter and 1 in the center, which is inspired in part by the Eden Project in Cornwall, England, and also in part by the Frobisher Bay atomic cement dome settlement that was considered in 1958. And he moves all of his most devoted sycophants up there to live with him. But the technology did not really exist to achieve technological immortality in 2001. Well, he starts in 1999 and he finishes moving them up there in 2004. And it has millennium period technology. Like they have danger hip tops, orbits, beverages in the fucking vending machines. They have a Blueberry IMAX in the cyber cafe. They have cyber cafes. And it's basically like a snapshot of what they thought the future should look like in the year 2000. And it has stagnated, and it has not remained the future. The future has moved past the future and left this fellow, his name's Vance Dranger, left him in the past. But all of his attempt to resurrect people is basically just animatronic taxidermy, where inside of the skull it's hollowed out and it has an iOmega zip drive with personality data on it, which is gathered by a Seaman style Dreamcast game, wherein they interact with a replica of themselves every day, so it can learn about them and imitate them more and more closely. So by the time they die of old age, they can just take the disc out of the zip discs, out of the Dreamcast zip disk drive, which is a real thing. There was really a zip disk add-on for Dreamcast, and it really had a microphone, so this could have existed. And they put it into the taxidermied cyber corpse and set it to moving, and then it recharges when it's pretending to sleep. So the main character arrives at this colony when it's partly broken down, not out of power yet because it's nuclear powered, and there's just taxidermied animals that are animatronic and fake animals in the jungle dome, and there's fake people who have forgotten that they're not real, milling about, some of them hostile, some of them not. And just a whole bunch of just grisly stuff happens because they tried to force the impossible to happen. Whenever you try to force the impossible to happen, the outcome is never pretty. They've got video phone booths.
Pope's favorite. Cold. It no longer breathes.
That harpoon. Be careful, Bear. It's explosive tipped.
My Mac.
What harpoon? That one? I'm gonna need that, aren't I? I'm very proud of the world building. It's kind of a combination of things. It's inspired by Soma. It's inspired by BioShock, with the grandiose, charismatic businessman who creates an impossible city. Let me show you. Oh, it crashed. Here it is. Here's the colony as rendered by DALL-E 3. Each has a different theme, each dome. There's a nature simulator dome. The central dome is actually supposed to be solid white, and it's not geodesic. It's just a dome-shaped building divided into 10 floors. It's shaped that way to blend in with the rest, but the AI couldn't understand that. And they're adjoined by corridors and also a circular tram that would link them all together. There's one that's a simulated downtown urban environment with malformed buildings to fit the curvature of the dome interior, while the inward-facing portions are still rectilinear. So it gives you the impression of, if you don't look up at the dome, that you're standing at an intersection of city blocks in an urban environment with apartments, a cyber cafe, a a sort of luxury boutique, and I guess a cafe or restaurant. I actually built this settlement in RimWorld in the South Pole in preparation to write the story. I'm very proud of that story. I don't know that it came together as well as I wanted it to, but the world building and the setting were the stars of the show. And there's also a lot of real science in it about historical attempts to reanimate dead bodies. Like Alessandro Galvini or whatever his name was, who is to which we credit the galvanic effect. The experiments which originally inspired the writing of Frankenstein. But also, Van Stringer at some point has a Japanese dinner with that one meal that's like the baby octopus that's dead, but that comes back to life briefly, or appears to, when galvanically activated with soy sauce. After the Chaka board. All this can be read on my Substack at alexbayman.com. Biofix. Oxygen system in the dive suits. Interesting. Alright. This is not a very nice corporation. He lived through this? 70% blood loss. I guess it is the future. I noticed that. That was a really fun story to do world building research for. It let me go back in time mentally and live in the year 2000 through 2004 again. To get all the Y2K Millennium decor right. That's my favorite thing about writing, is it lets you like LARP immersively for the duration of the project, that you live in a different time period. Putting drugs into it? She's become John C. Lilly. Ew! Ew! Oh yeah, Repo Man. You ever see Repo the Genetic Opera? I have a soft spot in my heart for that. Probably the only good thing that Paris Hilton's ever been in. And she played herself, so it worked out fine. It's the 21st century cure. And it's my job to steal and rob. Oh, is he? Who? What name? That's quite the large underwater facility. I have not seen anything so far that really justifies the sheer scope of this facility. Not that I'm complaining. But in reality, it costs so much to suspend a habitable pocket of air underwater that there's only the exact amount of room you absolutely need to live in reasonable comfort. Zydrate comes in a little glass vial. A little glass vial, a little glass vial. And a little glass vial goes into the gun like a battery. Like a battery. And the gun goes... Zydrate gun goes somewhere against your anatomy. And when the gun goes off, it sparks and you're ready for a surgery. 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 I've got the repro brain rot. This is why I've been harassing, it's a funny story. I harassed Elon Musk online to fund the Proteus habitat so much that I got my posting throttled. Now my posts are sometimes hidden, and it stops me from posting, and a lot of them are just shadowed. So I check for my other account and I can't see them. At least I know I got his attention now. That's boobs on a... Oh, this one's censored. Oh, that one isn't. Is this the spaceship? It's your mom's dildo. It's my Chipotle turd. This is the Highbrow Humor Channel. Definitely has a Rapture vibe. Also Soma. Actually more Soma. Oh, are there what's the word I want? Easter eggs? Look, the floor here is made out of floor. I bet the water is also water flavored. Aha, I knew I should have taken a picture of that. Let me look at my phone pictures. Alright, 7. 5, 4.
Security system access granted.
Charlie Mac.
Mac, look at this.
Looks like a rover. Big one.
That could be our way out of here. Where is this, Moses?
I can show you.
Transmitting target coordinates.
Okay. Yeah, so That's not far. On the seabed. I can make it there.
Seems like a big risk.
Well, that's our reality right now.
We need to... I think we need to take a picture of this too. Looks like we're about to steal a submarine. Or I guess submersible. $99.729. As I suspected, gamer instinct validated. I've also written a couple that I intended to be adapted to movies, and for that reason, they specifically take place in a limited setting, so they'd be cheap to film, like Under the Floorboards, which takes place almost entirely in a crawl space, a sizable crawl space, like halfway between that and a basement. I already read this. Did he repair the lungs? Layouts. Did they ever fix this? I have to get the shark for that, don't I? Does it not go there? That's what this is. Oh, but it's frozen. Oh, it's frozen. Oh, there we go. Alright. Why doesn't that go in there? That must not be what it's for. I bet I can... Oh, I bet I know what this is for. Yeah, there shouldn't be fire. That's a diving suit. Unless it somehow supercavitates.
Hope's favorite is alive?
Good God.
Hope's favorite is alive.
Mouse, get away from that.
It's a strong shark. Explosive tipped harpoon. Is that good? get a bomb now. Potentially we have a bomb. NSA, I'm talking about a game.
Spear
or
tip
FBI.
meets explosive harpoon. And we've got something for cutting and blowing stuff up. Two of my favorite pastimes.
Old thruster was useless on the dive suit, but works just fine as an explosive timer.
Waste not, want not, Charlie.
How was I to know that? My goodness. Is this really wise?
Guys, heads up. I'm about to blow this lock.
Loud noises.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah! What the hell was that?
I didn't see. What happened?
It's like some kind of giant fucking insect.
Language, Mac.
It blew out of the escape pod. Ran right by me.
Would you prefer it stuck around?
There's a creature. Try not to get scared. Scariest stories. I opened the escape pod with the improvised explosive, but then the creature. Little did I know the creature was actually the fuck you guy. Five years already. Ocular implants. She's lesbian. You know, I always wondered how in Star Trek Klingons could have achieved spaceflight. But looking at all this corporate backstabbing and hostility, and it slightly begins to make more sense. They just would have enslaved the smart ones. Not with debt, that would have been like Ferengi, but like with honor or some shit. Maybe like smart people were like war brides, spoils of war. Hard to imagine a Klingon scientist. Oh, she wanted to set them free. Black Ops team en route. Oh, she fell in love with one of the Stasis people. Wake up from your stasis tube. I'm the doctor that has been tormenting you and experimenting on your body, but now I'm also gay and in love with you. If you love me too, I can put you on an escape pod out of this underwater hell, but if not, you can rot in that tube forever and wait for somebody to, I guess a robot bear to come through and shut off your fucking life support. She would have been like, "Oh, I guess I'm gay now." Sure, I love you, strange lady who holds my life in your hand. Why would I not escape with you? Oh, and her lover was infected with the alien virus too.
Kane's reign.
You said they were alive.
Well, I thought they were.
Did that thing burst out of her?
Or feeding on her. Or...
Someone there. Someone actually there.
Reusing added to active channels.
They were using this body suit radio. That's what I heard.
Someone there? Or more dreams. In the haze.
Who is this? Are you part of the research team? Are you Kane?
Black. Dark. Can't see. Can't move. Explosions.
Are you hurt?
Explosions.
Are you okay?
The haze. The pain.
A bit dramatic.
He's rambling. We should try and find him.
Find him? What for? You remember the guy upstairs? All these other bodies? Who says he isn't the one running around doing it?
And if he isn't, he could help us. Maybe he knows a way out of here.
Haze in the dark. I am here. And nowhere.
He's an AI,
Yeah.
isn't he?
I don't think he's gonna be much help.
That's the woman from the log, the PDA, isn't it? She had the right idea. Can I use it on this guy? Let's try it on him. No. Alright, well, let's keep trying.
Hello.
Oh, this is the first time I zoomed in on it.
What in hell?
Is that human?
Hello.
The fucking heart is still beating, Charlie.
Language, Mac.
Those look like flowers? Some sort of vegetative growth?
Flowers. They float too.
Spores. There's spores coming off that thing. Moses, get away from it.
My Mac.
Ew! That's the spine, though. Isn't it contaminated? It has spores in it, right? Wouldn't it? So this same vent irises as alien. We also have a synthetic crew member. It's very reminiscent of Alien. I guess that makes sense. It would have to be something unimaginably valuable to justify the expense. I guess also they wanted to do it in secret.
Operating within established parameters.
I'm still missing this part. Let me tell you the problem with underwater settings for horror. It's too easy to escape from if you are in a 1 atmosphere facility, because if you get in a suit, all you have to do is fill a lift bag with compressed air and float to the surface. Or if the suit has drop weights, you just release the drop weights and you can float all the way to the surface, no problem. Of course, then you're stranded on the surface of the ocean with a... I guess the suit floats, so you can hang on to that so you don't drown. The only exception is if you're saturated. If you're saturated, then that is a bit of a pickle, because you can't go to the surface without dying horribly. Not unless you decompress first. Well, that's what that was. I thought that was a screen.
Killing gel replacement accepted. Gel operating within established parameters.
I think we can finally use it. Since it's cracked. It's got a cracked porthole, it doesn't seem optimal.
Train systems. Biotechnological deep atmosphere environment suit. Systems check. Alert. Apparatus is operating within established parameters. Ready for deployment.
Okay. Here goes, something.
Looks like a gym suit. We went backwards. We have better tech than this now.
Preparing to dive.
That's like a 1970s dive suit. Finally get to the underwater parts. Oh, or are we on the seabed? Oh, this is cool. Oh, this is cool.
Oh my god.
Are you outside?
Yes, it's... Mac... It's incredible. It's the bottom of the ocean.
I get that you're fascinated by it, but remember where you are. A place no human was ever meant to survive. Be careful.
So beautiful.
Cat, you better not. Meryl, you're sitting on the desk. I need you not to be there. Can't see through you, Cat. Can't see through you, Cat. Can't see through you, Cat.
Mac, this looks like the exterior of your escape pod room. And, I found a terminal.
Would it get you in here?
No, but it might get you out. If I can equalize the pressure in there.
Okay. I'd prefer not to have my brain blow out of my ear canals, though.
Noted. Hold on. It's behind a cage. Tricky. Loading these acetylene cartridges. Have to listen for the click.
Cycling pressure injectors.
Mac? You're now a free man. Tell me I'm amazing.
You're amazing.
You didn't have to say that. More bodies.
Yeah. But these were executed. They were shot in the back of the head.
Gunshots. I heard gunshots. Many gunshots. Days ago. Weeks ago. Eons ago. My head.
This writing's a little... It's not exactly purple prose, but they try to be fancy here and there, but in strange ways that are not as elegant as they seem to believe. For the most part, it's good, though.
Attention. The Kane Medical Division is not responsible for injuries or cardiac events resulting from the premature removal of this device.
Oh, that's shocking.
Har har.
What? Nothing? Come on.
I'm supposed to be able to examine this corpse, but I don't seem to be... Oh, what if I do this? Oh, this one. She just moved. Is this Umbrella Corporation? Look at the animated stuff. I love that. There's a lot of this in Submarine Titans. Y'all ever play Submarine Titans? Hillary Clinton's fingerprints are all over this. This is too deep for there to be plant life. $82.50. I'll take a picture. Wah, wah. It's Teddy Bear Man. Shredder, are you subbed to my Substack, or should I send you the free copy of Necrobot? I would be thrilled for someone to finally read it. Besides my good dear friends who already have. I don't mean to diminish you in the least. Can I go anywhere as Charlie? Take a look, and you will see it's me and KG coming out of the side hatch. with the oils and perfumes and incense. Can't go there. I used to be desperate for any sci-fi underwater games, but then there's so many good ones now. Now what I want to see is Polar Punk. And whatever that Frozen survival game is, that doesn't count. That's kind of steampunk with a survival city builder genre, paint job. I forget what it's called. Ice Out or something. Frozen Frontier or something like that. That's it. And that's a application of the theme, but I really want it to be more like realistic near term. South Pole colonization stuff. Oh, I see. Here we go. Beautiful environment. Hard to tell where you can go and where you can't go, however, sometimes. We're kicking up a lot of detritus, which is accurate.
So much life down here. At this depth.
Jellyfish. Hope's second favorite.
She loved how they bounced.
My Charlie. My Hope.
Use this?
Damn it. Terminal's locked. I can't access it.
How luxuriant. This is a beautiful, well-made, pre-rendered game on an ultra-wide monitor. If only it was also 4K. Or 3D, but then it couldn't be 3D because it's pre-rendered. She moves realistically for someone who's in water.
Mac! Mac, are you there? Look!
You found the rover. Good girl.
Yeah.
I'm your
Yeah,
good
it's
girl,
Totem.
Daddy!
It looks intact, too.
How are you going to get to it, though?
Good question. Stand by.
I have thrusters.
You can't jump that. Or swim it.
I know. but I might be able to get it closer.
Well, Crane should have operational terminals nearby.
I have thrusters, do I not? This is cool as shit. I'm glad I started playing this. I'm getting more into these isometric games where you command units around. I'm turning South Korean and I'm turning South Korean. I really think so. Do 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 do. How do I activate this? Can I, unlock it? What do you mean unlock it? What do you mean unlock it? How do I do this? Can I use this? No. Any ideas? I'm using a walkthrough and it's not clear enough. I should be ashamed of myself, and I guess I am slightly. I'm not sure what to do. What's good, Strider? I have to unlock this terminal, but it's not clear how to do that. I'm gonna click on it, this is all I see. I right click and then there's nothing, it doesn't reveal anything clickable. That doesn't work. Doesn't work. How do I unlock this? I don't know if it is or not. It doesn't look that way. Look at this paragraph here. The ocean depths beyond. House radiating darkness so complete, so primally terminal, that it projects an unfathomable malign intelligence that it renders even the tiniest mote of light wholly unwelcome and utterly rejected. A little much. A little over the top, bro. Malign triple word score. Malicious intellect, maybe. Unfathomable was an additional adjective you maybe didn't need. Unfathomable. Dialogue's mostly alright. Better than my dialogue. I don't really understand how people talk, though. They don't talk to people. Can't figure out what to do. I may take a break and play an indie spooper game. If anyone wants to order me a pizza, you're welcome to. Warn me, though. Oh, I found a cabinet, an outdoor weatherproof cabinet with windows. That would make a perfect cat pod. I really, really want to build a kitty city. I really, really want to build Kitty City. I do not have money to build Kitty City. Alright, let's quit for now. Do other things. We got yet another Lighthouse spooper game. These were all the rage for a while after the movie of the same name. No, 0% controller support. Oh, it's gonna be this kind of game, is it? Oh, weird. It's got distortion when I look down, like a Doom Engine game or a Duke or a Build Engine. It's trying to be PS1, but it's also trying to be like projector, I guess, kind of. Is that a dead body? It would appear to be a dead body. E is the use button. Indoor lamps. Those are outdoor lamps. Indoor lamps never looked like this. The shroud was different. These were weatherproof proofed for outdoor use. If you're gonna use an aesthetic, you should understand the context behind it. I sleep. I jump. I can't jump. I can't duck. I've got no inventory. It's gonna be one of those games. Crazy to think that once upon a time that's how people lit their homes, is these little glass pots of burning melted fat. In the case of whale oil, later further refined petroleum products like kerosene. I'm already stuck in this one too. Oh, that's a warped texture. PS1 never did that. I don't know what that is. PS1 never quite did what we're looking at here. Whoa, whoa, baby. Whoa. The part that hurts the most about getting plasma extracted is not even the needle in your arm. It's the pinprick they do with your index finger. They've got like a spring-loaded... It's like a cattle stunner, but at a smaller scale. Like the captive restrained pistol. It shoots a little needle into your finger and then out, and it hurts. I guess because there's greater density of nerve endings in your fingertips than there are to be found in the bend of your arm. I don't know what to do here. I can zoom in. I got a body. I've got a body. I'm now stuck. Start this over. It's probably just janky. When was the first time in your life you saw a dead body? There we go. I didn't get stuck this time. Get rid of your wife. Oh, this is my wife. Oh no. Come on, man. Take my wife, please. Commit her to the sea. Can I just throw her off into the ocean? I can't. What happened? I don't know what's going on. I wish I had a wife. Wife Jack memes are propagandizing me into wanting to get married. This is Minecraft coal. Lighthouses also seem comfy. The liveaboard ones that are big enough around to have the housing inside the lighthouse. I don't think that's how that works. Don't mind the question though. Seems like a Kino Fabino writing location. That's all gimmicks though. The stuff writers do to seem mysterious. Like affectations and dressing a certain way and going off to retreats and a spooky place to do their writing. You don't need that to write. I'll tell you what you need to write. You need either drugs or sleep deprivation. in order to loosen your hand and remove the power of writer's block. It's like shitting. If you try to force it, there will be blood. But if you just sit there and you wait, especially if you just relax and loosen up your asshole, then it slides right out. It could be a no wipe poo if you're a master of that technique. Short talk, are you inviting me to find your wife? That's your wife. I don't want, emphatically don't want a single mother. Although I guess I have to be realistic about what my options are. Cormac McCarthy was just exposed this week as having a jailbait lover. That's not what I'm not saying that's what I want. I'm not saying that's what I want, but like 20s, early 20s, mid 20s. That's what J.D. Salinger had. J.D. Salinger had a nice groupie who had a medical problem with her vagina that made her unable to have vaginal intercourse without extreme pain. So it was like a Freddy Got Fingered situation where she could only give blowjobs and receive, I guess. Although J.D. Salinger never reciprocated, and that's why she eventually wrote a Me Too article about him. You gotta eat some pussy if you want to get your dick sucked, I guess is the moral of that story. If you don't do it, she's gonna write a scathing article about you. About how she never loved you and how you were a monster who manipulated her retroactively. If you had just manned up and eaten a little bit of pussy, it would have been a fond memoir, a retrospective about how great you were and how honored she was to know you. You gotta get your wife out on that bike, Short Talk. That's the gateway drug. You love that bike, and I bet she would too. What you should have done is gotten a weaker bike, though, like 250 watts, so you have to pedal it sometimes. That's what I wish I would have done. I wish I would have gotten a weaker e-bike. So I have to pedal, but the pedaling doesn't suck so bad. I could love a fat wife. I've got some buddies who have fat wives. They seem to be happy. You gotta let go. You gotta get low. At some point when you're in your 40s, which I am technically now, you gotta let go of the ideal of marrying a beauty queen, because it's just not gonna happen. You gotta marry for love and a best friend and a partner to make your way through life with. Or I can just hermit max, which is what I'm doing now. It's still kind of unbelievable when my mom's gone. I still kind of have a hard time believing that I live in the time period post mother. It doesn't feel right. It feels weird and bad. But I guess it has made death more concretely real for me, and it has forced me to confront the fact that soon everybody I know will be, in my immediate family, will be dead. And I have to start planning for what I'm going to do after that. If not, just lay down on the railroad tracks or something. What gives me hope is that Chris Chan has a girlfriend now, and she's actually kind of a cutie. I'm not sure how. Supposedly she's got some money too. Because she's been traveling a lot, flying out to see him. So she comes from a family that's well off, and she's not obese, and she's not ugly, and she's not super hot, but I think she's cute. Nobody knows how he did this. Her name is Flutter, That's her fake name. She's done an amazingly good job of keeping her identity a secret. So far, nobody knows her real name, which also speaks to the possibility that her family has money to pay, like, private, anti, like, doxing services or something. For people to follow people around and scare them off. Something like that. I'm just making stuff up. This was just my headcanon. I can't find any coal. I must not need it today. We are truly without excuse to be maidenless. If you got no bitches, you gotta look at Chris Chan. If Chris Chan's got bitches and you ain't got bitches, then you gotta look at yourself hard and long in the mirror. Be like, what has Chris Chan got that I ain't got? I guess fame. He's got fame. He's the object of a lot of attention. I'm trying to understand the psychology. She could be somebody who just sees a complete fuck up and wants to fix him. And thinks if he just had someone in his life to literally tell him exactly what to do every moment of every day. Which is probably true. There's a lot of dudes who would be fixed by love of a good woman. Oh. Fucking why him? Is she a troll? Is she like a really, really dedicated troll? You'd have to be the most dedicated troll in the world to let Chris knock you up. Which supposedly he did. She's pregnant. Yeah, basically. I mean, Chris is not a very motivated guy normally, but he will do anything for pussy. That's the only thing that's ever gotten him to make any kind of changes in his life. And much of his actions read as basically a protest. A performative protest of not getting any. No, trolls are Nordic. Nordic trolls are actually pretty metal. There's a good movie about that. They are like gargoyles. They turn to stone in sunlight, which is why they hide during the day. And they can smell Christians by their blood. What do I do now? I guess I go back to bed, don't I? It's just a daily routine. My childhood sweetheart who gave me my first kiss was of Norwegian descent. And I know this because her house was full of Norwegian crap. And she was the blondest, most picture, like poster girl, blonde hair, blue-eyed person you've ever seen. So was her mother. I can't go in there. She had a big book on trolls. She had a cool, grossly realistic troll statue with glass eyes. Have you seen the one I'm talking about with a big, ugly nose? It looks like a little troll doll grandpa. She wasn't really connected with it. She didn't. I mean, she's like 2 generations removed, so she didn't speak any Norwegian. Neither did her mother. It's just stuff from her grandparents. What am I looking for? Shouldn't there be more coal for me to pick up? Why can't that be me? I've learned to make do. I've learned to just be, I don't know about content, but functional. And mostly copacetic with living the way I do. I feel pretty wretched though sometimes, in the wee hours of the morning, contemplating the rest of my life being just like this. I really knew I was gonna be doomed when I turned 30. I had to move back into my parents, and then I moved out again at 35, and I lived independently. Then COVID happened. Oh, here we go. Now it's working.
Coal is no longer enough. It needs flesh.
Oh. I have to burn living things for the lighthouse. Oh no, that's a meat eating, that's a carnivorous lighthouse, is what that is. I at the gym, I have a fit body for the most part. I just don't feel desirable. I feel very plain. Also, I'm still shy, which is a pathetic thing for men my age to be. Also post-nasal drip, and I also... There's not really a lot to recommend me. Oh no, rat! Oh, little rat buddy, I'm sorry. It's a circle of life. I'm sending your ashes up to the sky. Where they'll mix in with the rain and rain back down to the earth and fertilize plants. I guess that worked. You think all the other lolcows are looking at Chris right now and like, maybe we need to molest our elderly mothers. Maybe that's the secret. The one weird trick that West Virginia doesn't want you to know about. Ruckersville. More like Fuckersville. Am I right? Someone probably made that joke like the first time it was brought up. Kiwi Farms. There we go, I tried harder this time.
Something alive, something alive, something alive.
Okay, it has to be alive now. It's gonna want a person. What was that? What the fuck was that? We got wall meat? We got wall meat, confirmed. Whoever was waiting on wall meat, now's your time to take a shot. And you know what they say, where there's wall meat, floor meat is not far behind. I think what I regret even more is driving friends away. I've lost a lot of friends. Some of them was unavoidable. They went down political roads. I couldn't follow them. Some too far right, some too far left. Others, it was just a result of me and my personality shortcomings. Namely, that middle school fucked my brain up by teaching me that the game loop of society is basically to assert yourself socially by learning to be as efficiently hurtful as possible, verbally, so that you don't get in trouble for violence, but you can still assert yourself over other people, which is not how anything works after middle school. Maybe high school, but certainly not college. But that was a very formative time in my life when I was just a little sponge. I absorbed that lesson, and I made my entire mind all about optimizing for that purpose. And I learned how to be very, very hurtful. How to take things that were told to me in confidence by trusted friends and to weaponize them in the cruelest manner I could figure out. And I know academically better than to turn that on a friend. A lot of these people we met because out of admiration, because they watched me do this to one of their enemies. Like a social justice person, or a evangelical Christian, or a Muslim, or a Mormon. But they don't think it's cool when you turn that same scrutiny on them. Which I know I shouldn't do, but when I get mad, I need an outlet, and I can't be violent legally. It comes out of my mouth instead of my fists. And then I lose a friend overnight, and I feel shame, but also anger that I have forgiven them innumerable times, but they couldn't forgive me the one time I lost my shit and snapped on them. That's not to say they're the one in the wrong. I'm the one in the wrong. But I also feel vindicated in my view that if you are sincerely sorry for something you did, and it wasn't material, it was just words, and they don't forgive you, and you do everything in your power to make it right, but they still won't forgive you, that it's kind of on them, somewhat. I'm still the one who said a fucked up thing. That's still on me. But I also apologized, and I tried to make material restitution. And if you commit yourself, if you make some sacrifice, and they still don't forgive you, they're the one, I guess they feel entitled to do that. Because that's the only tool you've given them to hurt you with. If they've seen or experienced that it's difficult to hurt you, and you hurt them, and in doing so give them something to hold over you, they feel justified in twisting the knife. Especially if they've never been hurt that badly before. Is that the one and the same with the lighthouse or not? I really regret it. I like having friends. Friends is fulfilling and validating and nourishing in a sort of almost spiritual sense, not in the literal like spirits, but like it's eudaimonic fulfillment that it just nourishes you on the inside to commiserate with people that you have shared experiences with and you bonded. And every time I lose a friend, it's like cutting out an organ. Like when I lost Laura, although that was different. Laura noped the fuck off this mortal plane. The other ones just decided they didn't want to know me anymore. I'm glad the others didn't commit suicide, but I would really prefer to just sit down with them and talk things out. Is it impossible to talk through? Like, for all my shortcomings, I have forgiven others in the past. And these are people who will speak highly of forgiveness if you prompt them to. If you ask them what qualities they idealize. They'll say beautiful, poetic things about the virtues of forgiveness, but when it comes time that it's their turn to forgive, suddenly all that dries up. Where did it go? Where are all your fine-sounding words about forgiveness now? Basically, I have a friend who's a writer. And I met her when I was writing for Steam It. We were both writing for Steam It. And she only gave me the time of day because I was a whale on Steam It. And I think she figured I could help her blow up. Which I did somewhat by re-steaming some of her articles. I don't know how much that helped her. But we kept talking after that. And it was never romantic.
Give yourself. Give yourself. Give yourself.
It was never like that.
Flesh.
But we were very much, at that time, kindred spirits. Why would I cut my leg off first instead of an arm? How am I gonna go down the steps? How am I walking down steps with one foot? Anyways, she had an eating disorder, she was depressive, she wrote very beautifully dark stuff. But then she started to recover and it made her less relatable to me. And it kind of alienated me because she started to trad LARP. Because she married a guy that she knew for a long time and he had money and funded her lifestyle of raising their kids without working and getting to focus on her writing when she wasn't child rearing. And she wrote all these flowery posts about how your problems are not real, they're only in your mind. And anybody can do what I can do. Look at how I transformed my life. You're too gloomy. You're not in hell. It's just problems you create for yourself. Look at how easy it is for me. Just be cheerful and to transform myself and go to the gym, get fit, get healthy, wear the trad wife jack sundress and pose for fitness mom photos. And I wrote this long, admittedly scathing article, although it was tongue-in-cheek. It was tongue-in-cheek. It basically said, you know, what you've written is basically like a Marie Antoinette saying, if the poor people run out of bread, let them eat cake. It's like, oh, the solution to all my problems was just to find a partner that I could marry, willing to finance my writing and lifestyle. It's that easy, is it? Let me just be a fit, unconventionally beautiful woman, so that works out for me effortlessly. And I guess that touched a nerve because her response was, well, I published 2 books before I got married. And I said, well, I published 2 books also. Oh, it's the creature. That's the ending. The ending's lame. The ending is lame. It's like how if you live in, you ever seen Metropolis? It's sort of a Christian Buddhist hybrid parable, where the Buddha was a prince, son of a royal family, who lived luxuriously within the castle walls or palace walls, and he learned of pain and suffering and hardship when he ventured outside the walls and saw how commoners lived. And it inspired him to devise a path to be free of suffering by freeing oneself of desire. And the same story is recapitulated in Metropolis, Fritz Lang's Metropolis, wherein Frater, the son of a wealthy industrialist, lives on a upper level of the city. Like all this, you know how in some cities the rooftops have been kind of terraformed with grass and like little mini houses or like mansions on top of buildings in urban centers. In the future of Metropolis, every building has been transformed in that way, and they're linked up together with flying cars and walkways, so the wealthy never have to interact with the poor at the ground level. It's kind of like a low-tech Elysium. But Frater, curious about the world below, descends to the Undercity to see how the proles live. There's this great scene of them sacrificing themselves to a mecha Moloch in the form of a big industrial machine that causes all the functions of the city to work. And if Frater never left the rooftop gardens, it would be very easy for him to say, well, clearly life is a beautiful pleasure cruise, because that's all I see around me. Why doesn't everybody simply live up here? Not understanding that that's not an option for everyone, and that the whole world is not like his walled garden. I think it wouldn't have been effective if there hadn't been some truth to it, and she hadn't felt invalidated, which I didn't. I did intend it, but I didn't intend it to be as provocative as it was. And I regret losing her as a friend. She was a very good friend. We had a lot in common. There was a lot of creative synergy, and we had industry contacts in common. And that was on me. That was my fault for going nuclear. I didn't have to go nuclear. Why do I always go nuclear? I guess just feelings of constant defensiveness from my youth. Like everyone's always attacking me from all angles, and I always have to be on a hair trigger. And I always have to have a comeback ready. I always have to have a put down ready. Which I don't really. I don't have to be that way, but I am. I got no one to blame but myself. This has taken over. You know what this used to be? Used to be the experience of playing Newgrounds games. Remember Newgrounds? That's a juicy member berry. That's good. Oh, they don't have it set up to work through the... Yeah. You're doing a good job, Short Talk. Short Talk's got an autistic son. I hope I can say that. And with foreknowledge of Chris Chan, seeing what the outcome can be if you don't... If you do what his parents did, which his parents basically pretended autism didn't exist and just turned a blind eye and hoped that things would work themselves out, but they don't. Autistic people navigate by dead reckoning, and they really, really need outside assistance. So he's trying to steer his kid away from all the stuff that would turn him into one of those, whatever you'd call them. There, but for the grace of God go I, because my father never really steered me. I just knew not to get all fucked up, somehow. I think what helped was a lot of Golden Age sci-fi, where the heroes were just great role models, especially Asimovian heroes and Heinleinian heroes and Bradburian heroes, which were just omnicompetent men who were fit, they were strong, masculine, they were healthy, they were logical, and they didn't solve their problems with violence all the time. It didn't glorify being a big meathead. You weren't lacking. None of them were lacking in that area, and sometimes it did come to blows. But they always put their mind to the problem first. And they never flew off the handle. They were cool, calm, collected. And it taught me to maintain my morphological, sexual, and mental humanity. Not to deviate too far, to be the best human I can be. Very simple messages. Eat healthy food, exercise, learn all you can about every new tool. Don't be afraid of the future. Embrace it. Make it work for you so you're not left behind. There's always a solution, even if you don't see it right away. And humanity got to the top of the food pyramid by our intellect, not by our brute strength. It's good lessons. Good. What's the word I want? I don't know. Good rubric. Good role models. Good guide. Something like that. It's all written in the 50s and 60s and 70s. So it's very much a product of that time. I guess so am I indirectly. By the way, if anyone out there is listening, you can get a Walmart computer chair that reclines, that's adjustable, that's all metal, that has faux leather upholstery, that has built-in electric heating and vibrational massage motors for about $150. Best purchase I've made in the past year. I had another one before, but my cat fucked it up. Thank God I have a cat that doesn't love to shred faux leather. Jenny loved to shred faux leather, which is just plastic. I couldn't keep her away from it. I couldn't stop her. She didn't stop until she shredded every last fleck of faux leather from that chair, and broken the wiring in the process. So I had to disassemble it and toss it out. I have a much more well-mannered cat now. Let's see what this one's about. Oh, bad news. We got fake ultra wide. It just chops off the top and bottom of the picture. I want my friends back. I offended 2 of them. With the third one was kind of a combo. He was a really good friend since high school, which makes it hurt, especially that I drove him away. But he was always really lonely. Like, he wanted a girlfriend in a way, almost like to a Chris Chan degree. But he wasn't that kind of guy. He had his shit together. He's a lot like Doug from the cartoon. He's just kind of a Millhouse kind of guy. He was always very lonely and wanted the affirmation and comfort of a romantic relationship. He wanted it to last. And he wanted to get married. Very romantic guy. And he sought friendship with me long after high school. And we knew each other for a couple months. But our politics diverged. But he was able to tolerate the difference. Until he got a girlfriend who was way, 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 way far left of him and both of us. Then he couldn't have me around because I would say stuff. And his girlfriend would be like, why are you friends with this guy? And so he kept... I could tell he was trying to figure out a way to... or looking for a reason to get rid of me. And he found his reason... when under a Facebook post about his girlfriend to say, I'm glad you met someone. I know you've been lonely for a long time. And that triggered him. He took it differently. He took it like pity. I did not mean it that way. He said, oh, well, now that you've shown your teeth a little bit, I guess I don't have to pull the punches either. And he just cut me. He ghosted me, cut me out of his life. There's something more than that. It was not that benign. It was like I forget exactly what I said. Like that you're willing to change who you are or pretend to be someone else in order to hold down a relationship with somebody. I don't remember exactly how I worded it, but it was not that bad. But it was again, it only really hurts if it's on the nose, and it was on the nose, and he felt hurt, and he had a right to feel hurt. I was wrong to say that. I was wrong of me. We had another shared friend. It was the trio, the 3 of us in high school were buddies. He'll never see this, so I can say his name was Tom. He's a ginger. He inspired me to start working out, actually. Because he had fucking giant biceps, and I was like, I should have that. He was a cool guy. We played Xbox in his attic. And he's the sort of guy who... he's a family man. From start to finish. He didn't date around. He met one girl he liked. You know, they say never marry your practice girl, but that's the ideal, isn't it? There aren't supposed to be any practice girls. You're supposed to keep it in your pants until you meet who you're going to marry, and that's what he did. He met someone named Nicole, and he loved her. He's like, finally, I got someone who I get along with, and she's hot, and she's into me. And she was also very controlling. Where that implies that he's not down for that, though, which I feel like he's very much a doting husband who understands how to make marriages work. So he moved in with her, reorganized his whole life and personality around her, which one I guess has to do if you're going to get married. And that was just marital bliss, and that was his life since then. That's a weird synchronicity. I always liked him. He's a funny guy. He was really funny. Always made me laugh. can't go up there. Is he stuck in the doorway? Was that slowly levitating just now? Or he killed a man. I'm gonna get stuck in this cage, aren't I? This is a picture of a fella. Oh, yeah, this was the prison. This is a train prison. What kind of train has a prison on it? Did Soviet trains have prisons? It is pleasant. I get the impression he's very whipped, but he's also, that's not against his will. He got what he wanted. He wanted to be secure in a long-term marriage, and to grow old and die with the woman they loves, and that's what one should aspire to. I'm happy for him, and I want what he has. I got bonked on the head. Is he gonna rape me? Maybe that's the price you gotta pay. Is if a woman's gonna tolerate you. You gotta be way the fuck sub. These days, I mean, they have the money, so. That's what all the funny boomer birthday cards say. Gotta be like, yes, dear. What she said.
Follow me.
Follow me. My favorite voice. He's Stephen Hawking. Look at his walk cycle. That certainly is a walk cycle. Well, you can tell by the way I move my walk. I'm a whoop. There's man, no time to talk. You say loud to something, I don't know the words. But it goes like this, and it's alright. It's okay to be just a little gay.
Your job here is simple, but important. Decoding some unknown frequencies every day. And for something like matrices, you just have to form a ring that makes some sense.
Mortis. If I had known I would have been 41 by now and unmarried, I probably would have married my practice girl too. Also, she hadn't done what she did. My first real girlfriend was the one who absolutely had to have black dick no matter what. And I'm not saying that scornfully, because she didn't do it while we were together. But I saw the signs. She read a lot of rap, or she listened to a lot of rap. She read a lot of social justice type publications, mostly focused on feminism. So she was really enamored with the romantic concept of sort of sexual reparations. I guess that was like a fantasy for her. Giving her body to a black man. And her parents were very racist. Well, not very racist. They're like average racist. They're just like, you know what? Don't get pregnant by a black man. Whatever you do, you can date him, you can flirt with him. Just don't get pregnant, because what's going to happen is you're going to have a half black baby out of wedlock, and we're going to have to raise it for you. Or we're going to have to pay for it, which is exactly what happened. She's like, no, that's not going to happen. That's a stereotype, you dastardly racists. So she got with the first black guy she could, after me. He turned out to be a Nigerian Muslim banker, and I know that sets off alarms in your head. But it was a Nigerian prince in the email, not a banker, and he literally was a banker. He had good money, and she had a kid with him, and then he said, according to my faith, I can have up to 4 wives. You got to let me have more wives, otherwise I'm going to divorce you or just not marry you. And she said, no, I'm not going to be cucked. And so he did get rid of her. She got custody of the kid, and she wound up exactly like her parents said she would. To be fair, there were warning signs. She was one of those women who makes you wait to sleep with her because you're someone special to her. And even though she admits to having a past where she fucked a lot of guys in one-night stands, and she thinks that it's like honoring you or being good to you to make you wait to sleep with her to show that she's serious. It's like she's resetting her virginity. She apparently had a lot of really wild times in high school. And slept around a lot, and she regretted it, and she wanted to wipe the slate clean. Which, I mean, everybody deserves a second chance, and this was my first real girlfriend, so I wasn't going to turn up my nose at her. She was a lot of fun, though. We had fun times together. My first night in college, she surprised me. She crashed my dorm, and she took me out to meet all my neighbors. And she brought alcohol, and she got drunk, and she made out with some of the girls that lived next door. What was that? So she was a wild child. In retrospect, I was a very mild child, being an autist who had only ever seen women in like anime before nude and VHS tapes prior to that. So she got to pop my cherry, but not the other way around. Which, if you're fine with that, you're fine with that. And I was fine with that. I was raised in a very liberal, permissive household. It's one of those things that, looking back, it makes you think about how she turned out and how her life went. I certainly empathize with her. Empathize with her daughter, especially. Her daughter never asked for this. Her daughter didn't ask to be stranded in that way. Especially not with a parent that didn't have money. Is that the Soviet anthem? It is. Wherever she is now, I hope she's doing well. She tried to get back with me. That's the punchline. After she ran off, after she got pregnant by a black man, after he left her, she tried to come back to me, and I was like, no, thank you. What the fuck is this? I hope she's okay. I bear her no ill will. I'm sure it's rough being a single mother. With a mixed-race kid, I mean, that's a meme by now. I made my own share of mistakes. None so life-changing. And she also did specifically tell me that her greatest phobia was to be traded for a prettier girlfriend, which I did immediately after her, but I didn't dump her. She dumped me. Well, kind of. We got together and we had a meeting. She said, I'm moving out of state for college, and if you can't follow me, then we have to break up for this period in my life. And I was like, all right, we got some months left. Let's make some good memories, and we did. Why is that such a common story, though? Why is it such an alluring thing? I guess if you grow up in a racist household, that's like the forbidden fruit. Your dad tells you, whatever you do, don't do this, and you're like, well, that's got to be the good stuff, or he wouldn't try to keep me away from it. It's like how parents who forbid their children to eat sweet things grow up to be fat, because once they're out of their parents' control, they indulge and don't have it. They never developed any restraint when they were younger. I don't see any patterns, do you? Guess that's good. There's a lesson in there somewhere that there's often forbidden fruit in our lives that we know is a bad decision. That the heart wants what it wants, and if we can't tell ourselves no and restrain ourselves, then we should be ready to pay the price, and we should be thinking about the future all the time. We should never make a decision without thinking about tomorrow. We should never throw everything away just so we can get our dick wet and fulfill a fantasy. A lot of chicks I probably shouldn't have slept with were not well in various ways. And I'd be a hypocrite if I said I haven't sometimes made unwise decisions because of my libido. I just don't understand why it's always like black dudes or dogs for white women. I'm trying to understand the psychology. I guess part of it is the racist parents thing. The other half is just genetic difference. We have an instinct to improve immune response by seeking out partners that are different from us. You can do it, Short Talk. It's not just sex either. It's also financial decisions. Trying to talk yourself out of a bad financial choice just because it's what you want. Like me and buying obsolete computing hardware. Oh. I guess that was the right code? Question mark? Looks like a Soviet mining town. Can I control this with a gamepad? Please? No. Because I can't look. Has there ever been any person or thing you wanted in your life that you knew was something you had to say no to? That was gonna fucking wreck everything if you went for it. But you were tempted to go for it anyway and just eat the consequences? Like a car you shouldn't have bought, or a coworker that you shouldn't have gotten into a tryst with. And you hear that siren call of the forbidden fruit. You can't date anybody from work. But you're just like, fuck it. I want to be happy for once in my life, and if it means the rest of my life goes up in flames, then so be it. That's kind of romantic. It's not very smart. It's not very smart. I didn't say it was. It is romantic. Pozivinka. We all get the same magazine. Guess it would be that way. Resident Evil door, Resident Evil door. Where the fuck is the light switch? Dan 1. I'm the first of many Dans. That's wisdom starter gif. Well, this is a hellhole, but it's, I guess, kind of cozy. Yeah, what are they gonna do? Kill him? It's like trying to find homeless people if they don't move their tents. They have no money to pay with. You can't make. They're not afraid of being homeless because they are homeless. Still a lot of really inhumane discussion of homelessness on social media. People talking about putting them in camps and shit. They don't realize that we're all going to be living in tents sooner or later because of robots and AI. They just have their heads in the sand. They consider it like a maybe. It's not a maybe. It's not an if. It's a when. This looks really familiar. Back to Silent Hill Park. Rats. We're rats. We're the rats. We got a video game rat. We got a confirmed video game rat. Can I grab him? I'm gonna let him live his life. That sounds like you wouldn't let me starve, would you, short talk, old buddy? You wouldn't let me subsistence farm a pollution-cursed earth while dodging swarms of Amazon death drones, would you? I know my dad has a stock portfolio. I probably will inherit that. That's what I should have put all my money into back when Steam went crazy. Said I bought a car, a computer, and VR, and e-bike. A bunch of things I wanted because I'm a stupid, stupid man who had been living in poverty effectively for years by that point. Let's see. Would have been 32 when Steam went crazy. Where do I go? What do I do? What a miserable shithole. This is a lot like Concluse. I feel like we may be in for an AI winter. A brief one while we figure out how to solve the problems with LLMs. I've been hearing about liquid AI being the next step. Oh, Short Talk, you're too sweet. What a good friend. Whatever do to deserve you. Will your wife bring me pudding snack packs with a little wooden spoon and gummy Ninja Turtles and Flintstones vitamins and tuck me in at night? And buy me Game Boy games? I gotta get real. I gotta figure out how to make it not come to that. I gotta figure out how to invest what I inherit wisely. And since I didn't build any of my own wealth, hardly, before that point, I have to figure out how to make it. I probably will have to live very meagerly for a little while I grow that money. Will you wear an apron? I guess is the crucial question. I like my sandwiches cut diagonal too. And toast the bread. I'm mostly joshing. But I do appreciate having a fallback. Of which I have several now. I have a couple friends who... One who really wants me to come move in with him because his wife died. And he's been lonely. It's really brutal how his wife died. It's senseless. She slipped and fell in the bathroom. Young, too, in her 20s. Or 30s. And she just got up to use the bathroom in the night. And she slipped and hit her head on bathroom tile. And it caused a brain hemorrhage. I guess she might have been drunk. She's a little bit heavy drinker. And he got up to find her on the floor, bleeding out of her head and nose and ears, and called the ambulance, and it was too late. She died at the hospital. And they had only been married like a year or two, I want to say. Life is not fair. It's brutally, brutally unfair sometimes. I'm Gordon Freeman. Let me tell you, from experience, as somebody who has eaten a lot of dehydrated food, both as camping food and when I was doing MDRS in the Utah desert, only certain foods dehydrate well. Anything with meat is going to kind of suck because the meat pieces have to be very small, because the dehydrator has to be able to reach into the middle to remove all the moisture. So if any individual piece of anything is too large, then there will be pockets of moisture in the middle which grow moldy. So everything has to be either reducible to powder, flakes, or very small pieces. I don't want to hurt you, friend. Macaroni and cheese does rehydrate well. Mashed potatoes rehydrates well. Gravy rehydrates well. Anything that's basically slop. Slop rehydrates well. Chili mac rehydrates well. I hope I don't have to be violent. I don't want to hurt anyone in this game. I will not hit a rat. Chat, don't ask me to hit a rat. I killed it. What the fuck was that thing? Glad I figured the shit out before it killed me. That was that's a giant worm. I sure would like to know what killed it again. That's two of them. We need to find the code. Five, 8, 4. Okay, 584 was not the code. Let me show you the cat pod I've been looking at. So I've been looking at these cat pods. That's not what they're for. They're outdoor cabinets, but with windows, tinted windows. I guess you could use it indoors too. It's not really for that. It's like an outdoor storage cabinet. But I could put a cat flap in the side here. Then I could cut a hole in the back with a hole saw so she could crawl through from one side to the other. And then one side would have a heater pad for when she wants to be warm. The other side would have no heater pad for when she wants to cool down. And I could put webcams a webcam in one or both modules. And it would be like a little practice cat house. I know a cat house is a brothel. But that's not what I mean. Yeah, it's like a little cat pod. And then I'd build up to Kitty City, which Kitty City would be using a full size, like 7-foot tall PVC vertical enclosed outdoor storage cabinet. Which I found a handsome looking red and black one. Well, I kind of want it to be white because there's also a white geodesic dome tent that I found for $1,000. I'd really like to attach as an outdoor play area that will stay nice even when it's raining. I don't know why I want to do this because I don't want my cat. I don't want to never see my cat again. I just want to. I have an instinct in me to build habitats for animals. Could be 485. Surely it's not coincidence that those numbers happen to be right there. Oh, there's an arrow. Hey, that worked. The clue was correct. What happened? I'm not going to make it underwater because it's too large. I can't waterproof it and my cat would never agree to it. It's just going to be out in the yard and it's going to be kino as hell when it rains, especially if I can get the dome financed. It'll be a futuristic dome city for cats. Also probably eventually for raccoons, which will move in ASAP, most likely. Then I guess it just becomes Raccoon City. Or other cats, I guess. I also like the idea of her having a rigid structure to flee into in case she gets pursued by an enemy cat or like a coyote. Because there are coyotes in the area now. There's little young ones just running around eating people's pets. Uh-oh. Oh. I guess that's Dear Leader. This is communism for you. This is what it's like. Raccoons. How did I not see that? It's literally Raccoon City. I don't think they'll fit in there though. That's my cat's a small cat. Do it. That's what I should have been doing. I was streaming for a while, but it's surprisingly expensive and time-consuming to upkeep a underwater habitat. I see why it costs so much to keep Aquarius Reef Base running. You know, it takes a little over $3 million a year to operate Aquarius Reef Base, like a couple times a year for 2 weeks at a time, and to just upkeep the base. That's how much that costs. What do I do here? These don't line up correctly. Zero, 1, 2, 3, 4. Ah. There we go. Just code guessing. I had a hamster bunker at one time. Hamster bunker. Writing has really got eaten into that. What is that? Oh, that's a fella.
Please don't tell him that I sleep here tonight.
Don't worry, friend. I won't tell him you sleep here tonight. Imagine talking like that to a homeless guy. They never want food, oddly. They used to. I think that's because when I was handing out care packages during 2018, I saw like 3 different charities all show up and deliver food to the tent camp that I kept bringing the packages to, and I was like, what am I doing? Why am I spending my money to put together food and clothes for these people when they're drowning in it? They don't lack for charity. But they sure are bicycle aficionados, let me tell you. They've got bicycle parts for models I've never seen before. They sure do love their drugs. But again, can't be too mad. That'll be us. It'll be everybody who doesn't have sufficient stock holdings soon enough. Can't turn the lantern on. I stole a key, but for what purpose? What happened? Did someone set me up the bomb? Hamburger. I should recreate hamburger, but larger. I should make a vast hamburger.
Dead.
A missing person. Why am I here? Why do I live here? Is there a plague, or are they killing people? Or are people dying, I mean? That's the gas main. Oh, that's not good news. Sad. Alright, so there's like a keypad I don't have. Let me see. Five digits. No. Go away, please. That doesn't work here, apparently. Monkey typewriter effect didn't work. What do the numbers on left mean? They don't seem to correspond to anything. It's about time, yeah. Guess that's a good place to call it quits. Not the most riveting. Get at me again on Wednesday. Same ham time, same ham channel. It's 7 o'clock p.m. West Coast time to 11 o'clock p.m. This is your friendly neighborhood ham dad signing off, returning you to your regularly scheduled raid. Oh, cool. Where are you gonna train to, Earl? Lucky you. Let her rip, Short Talk. Activate. Step on it. Give it the beans.